That's what I thought.
Oh,
It's 11 o'clock here.
it's 11 o'clock here. We don't have a 10 o'clock here.
I have a request. If we could go back to 9 o'clock San Carlos time when we get back to San Carlos in the fall or whenever we go. No. How about 9:30?
It'll be 8:30 in Alaska,
Right.
just in case you needed to know. Hmm.
It's just hard to plan to have breakfast at Tequilas at 9:30 in the morning or 10 o'clock or whatever. Yeah. Well, those of us that get up at 6, you know,
Try 5.
Who's
well,
that?
I just don't ever mention that because people don't understand that.
I have a bedmate that doesn't get up early. No, and that's
Well, last night I stayed up till.
yeah, yeah. Which one?
We don't have a dog, so no, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't go to sleep, so I actually woke up at 8:30 this morning, so that's a decent hour. So this morning I put a little joke, haha, not so much, on
Yeah.
our computer club on Facebook.
I saw it.
I didn't know if Scott had seen it yet. And the other thing is topics today, if you could put on there, putting Stremio on your new Fire TV was about an hour and a half frustration last night, and everything you Google is from the old TVs, and nothing that they say looks like what it's supposed to look like, whatever. And then I'm still having a hard time getting all of my Google Drive, G Drive, archived photos, whatever, out of my Google and into my iCloud. It's still a terrible, terrible process. Right now I'm restarting my HP because I had it all up ready to have you guys see what was going on, and of course nothing's working this morning.
It's computer club day. It's Scott's syndrome.
Good morning.
Well, I'm trying to download apps. That's the thing. Only the TV tells me that I have to give it permission to download apps, and I can't find any place to give it any kind of developer's permissions. And
Did you not call your Fire TV helpline?
you know what? There is a Fire TV helpline, but we did not phone it yet, Judy.
Weird.
Hey,
That would be asking for help. Bill said, Scott will fix it in the morning.
Well, I'm not sure that Fire TV will be all that enthused about us wanting to download Stremio on it.
No, but you have to, just apps.
Yeah, just how to. The downloader. Yeah, downloader app needs permissions. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, it needs permission to download an app that isn't on their approved list. Yeah, well, Fire TV.
There is no such thing. There is no such thing that says My Fire TV. You go to
No.
devices, and there's nothing that says this device.
Yeah.
The Fire TV menu comes up when I push menu on the Fire TV remote. I do, but where does it say my?
Well, I assume we have the latest Fire TV stuff, because as soon as we turned it on, it went through about 3 or 4 updates before it would do anything else. But Cheryl is correct. There is no My Fire TV button. Yeah. I thought that was you. I was sure that was you.
Well, no, we asked Alexa, and she took us, like there's an Alexa in the TV. She took us to the settings page, but there was nothing there. And then I went to the help line, and it told me the sequence. Amazon Fire TV. Wait a minute. There's another name on it. It's not the Omni. Oh, the model. Fire TV. Look on your order form, please. Right here. Hello, bonjour. Series 4. I got the important information. Series 4. Yeah, there is an about. Oh. You're muted.
I'm going to do it right now.
You're muted.
I know I am,
Oh, okay.
but let you.
Got it?
Let's do it.
Hit the button numerous times on the about. Okay, now that just sounds a little too sci-fi for me. Hit the button numerous times. I think we had it last night. Bill's working on it. Oh, I'm into the French.
And if all else fails, you can do YouTube.
But every YouTube had menus and stuff that did not look like ours. But that about one. This is like a cult. Okay, push this button 3 times, stand on your head, do this, and then reveal secretly.
So it's dumbing down their device so that most, well, I find that offensive. But I can call Apple and get an answer. But I wouldn't ask for Streamio necessarily. But you ought to be able to install whatever you want.
Yeah, and when I search for it, it tells me to go to Downloader or this other one, another app, something.
And I understand they're going to have to comply if they want to continue to sell their devices. Therefore, our devices will be the same because this is what I read, that they aren't going to manufacture a European iPhone and a US iPhone. No, I didn't. You don't think this is messy? No, it isn't. You tell that to Cheryl and Bill. You tell that to Cheryl and Bill who've been trying to get it on their TV. Yeah. No, that's true. I I think Bill has an answer. Bill doesn't have an answer.
We have developer options. Bill is now a developer, and he went to install unknown apps, and we went down to downloader, and we turned it on. So I think we're making progress, but it was the buttons. And Judy, you take offense to being dummied down. At my stage right now, I want everything dummied down. Would you please, please, please quit making changes to the way I've done things on my whole computer techie life and just let me do it.
I said, that's not taking exception to what I said. That's agreeing with what I said. They think that we're too stupid to do it ourselves. But she's not.
No, I am. I have been dumbed down. My brain is dumbed down at 66 years of age, and I need all instructions to be dumbed down.
Okay. So I believe we have installed Stremio now. It was a little different than what you said, but I found the about, and if you hit the about, it goes into a menu system. But if you just leave your cursor on the about and hit it multiple times, I hit it, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and it says, oh, you're only 4 more steps from being a developer, so you hit it 4 more times, and away it goes. Now, I suspect whoever developed this app is an old gamer. And they used to have those stupid Easter eggs. You go down, 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 right, right, down, down, up, over, and you get something. Yeah. Yeah. But you have to know the little secret in order to do it. They don't tell you. Yeah, they're busy trying to make their Android look like an iPhone. So they keep adding all these little gadgets to it. Whatever it might be. Anyway. So we will now go, when we're finished the computer club, we'll go to the computer club website and look up reviews, and we will give Scott Stimson a wonderful review on how to hack a Fire TV. There you go. We're happy.
And while we're talking about going to a website, what is the one that we go to see all of the ones that we've recommended in movies and shows and all that? It's not just Watch Me, it's something else. Tracked. Oh. That's okay. There's the history stuff in there. So TRAC. Oh, TRAK. And do I log in as a computer club member or something, or I can't remember what I did. Yeah.
There's a YouTube every week.
Okay, Scott, I got a quick question. I'm on Stremio, first time there, it wants an account. How do we log in as a guest? There's no, oh. Oh, okay, so you gotta have it, I gotta start an account. Yes. Well, it says, yeah. Oh, okay. I think I understand. What I do is I create a Stremio account on my computer. It gives me the scan cube or whatever it is that I can point my camera at, and it'll log me in. That was anything I added to the TV. It gave me that scannable diagram. I don't know, what do they call that things? But it's easier to do on the computer. Okay. Okay. I'll give it a shot.
Well, no, I'm dealing with my iCloud, Google Drive to iCloud, whatever. But also, like that joke thing that I put in, it's Google knows all is basically the topic.
I've got a strange thing happening with my HP. The Google opened, and what happened? Weird. I'm getting all kinds of funny things on the thing. Anyways, Google opened, and I can just see the edge of it. It's way over to the side, and I don't know how to restore the window. Okay, my desktop on my my HP computer. I see that. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure. I've got my camera on.
I can't hear anything. Can anybody hear anything?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I can hear Judy.
Except I can't see myself. My camera seems to be. I was trying to disconnect my hearing aid, and right beside it is the. Anyway, I was looking at my cover. So, why? Anyways, okay. I will do that.
Oh my God, I've gone blind. Oh, help.
Okay, so this is my computer, right? See my computer? Okay, my Google Chrome is open, but it's over there. I just restarted the damn thing. Move. More tools, cast, extensions. Download new window. Can I? Well, wait a minute. Can I? No, it only grabs it so far. I'm going to close that one. And hopefully when I open it up again, it opens in here. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yes. Task view. The task bar with the right button. Show task view. Show cascade windows. Cascade windows. It's back. Wow. I'm going to try it full. So we're supposed to update our browsers and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if maybe that's what I need to do. Not sure what I need to do. Huh. Okay. So I've logged into my iCloud account on one screen, on one tab, and on my other tab, I have my Google Drive. But there is no easy way to transfer stuff from my Google Drive to my iCloud. I have to download it to something and then upload it. Is that what I'm supposed to do? I don't know. Wait a minute. So in my start menu, I can search for. I think I have a Google Drive. Yes, I have a Google Drive on my computer already. But you're saying I should get a download an iCloud Drive, and where would I find that? I'm looking. I've got iCloud. There it is. Okay, but I need one of those on my desktop. Don't have. I have an iCloud. Well, it's yes, now I can log into it. Okay, this might make my process a little bit easier. Right. Right. Because I'm getting noted. Oh. Getting all kinds of notification, second factor, enter this code.
Oh my gosh. This whole time I've been recording and broadcasting to YouTube and realized that I didn't have the microphone on. I mean, I had it on for you guys, but I didn't have it on for the YouTube. I didn't even have it on for the recording that I do here. Everybody can be heard except for me. So it's just a typical computer club.
Now it's asking me syncing. Select what you want to sync.
I would imagine that's either giving you an abstract like my photos, my documents, or a more advanced option where you can say very specifically which folders.
Okay, it's got to check with iCloud Drive, and I've got options, the photos, bookmarks from different, like Chrome, Edge, or Firefox, and passwords.
Well, it's the iCloud Drive that you're interested in.
I'm going to turn these other guys off for now. iCloud Drive and options. Choose the location of your iCloud Drive folder, and it's on user iCloud. I'm going to change it and put it on my desktop. This PC desktop.
My iCloud Drive exists in my Windows user account called iCloud Drive. I recognize it because to keep some content in it, I have this awesome ducky picture.
Okay, now I've got it. Desktop, user, okay. Lots of stuff.
So, have we got other topics as well? Chester, have you brought any topics to us today?
Not today. Thank you.
Well, I have included some topics I thought would be interesting for our group in our document. I will paste the link to that document into our chat just so it's handy for everybody. And it's taking its own sweet time. It's interesting, it's needing an extra layer of authentication for some reason. But there is our document again for today, the 41st meeting of 2022-23. And one of the things that I thought was interesting as just a general topic, but also as a news release, is the this Fed Now. If you guys, I don't know if you're paying attention to it, it is a U.S. thing, but this is the Federal Reserve releasing their own electronic transfer, encrypted transfer system. This is supposed to be in place to do instant payments They call it Fed Now, and it's available to the 10,000 banks that are regulated by the Federal Reserve. And they have to sign up for it. It's voluntary. It's not mandated. But what it should allow is it should allow for the instantaneous transfer of funds in between banks, U.S. banks. It's gotten some play. Hello, Judy. Judy's back.
I've had to reboot twice now for some reason. Everything freezes and you're all talking and then all of a sudden there's nothing. So it's obviously my problem, but I don't know what it is. So
is this on your
anyway,
MacBook?
This is on my iPad.
On the iPad.
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
I got another phone call on my phone, so that could have done something, but normally I can talk on my phone and be on the iPad at the same time. So
certainly, yeah. And your
anyway,
iPad isn't dated, is it? I mean, it's not that old.
No, it's only a couple of years old. When
you say rebooted, did you do that complete reboot?
No, I went out of the Meet software and I rejoined twice now.
Yeah. So if it does continue to be a problem, you might try doing that full reboot where you hold down power button, shut it down, and start it back up. And
except I won't do that because it only happens with meet.google.com.
Well, regardless, it's a very simple thing to do. If that's the only thing that's glitching, then.
But I also just did an update that was recommended. So.
It was in case you wanted to spontaneously leave your Google Meets without audio, you should install this update.
Could be. And I did install it actually. So anyway, that's where I've been.
Hey, is this the 16.6 update?
Yes. Yes.
That I don't know much about that except I saw there was an emergency release of that because of some 0-day exploit. I haven't had a chance to update it yet.
Yes.
Okay.
I just did it this morning, so.
Yeah, Cheryl.
Anyway.
I have two windows that just opened up on my computer. The one is about Google Drive. Can't launch Drive for desktop. Drive for desktop can't connect to the internet. To launch Drive for desktop, check your internet connection and settings.
Are you on the internet?
I believe so, unless it just bleeped or something. The other one is an application launcher for Drive by Google added. Another program on your computer added an extension that may change the way Chrome works. It can read and change your data on docs.google and communicate with cooperating native applications.
So this is the add-on that Drive adds to your Chrome browser.
Yeah.
It works with files offline. So this allows you to do things like docs and spreadsheets and pictures without having a connection to the internet.
So enable extension.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And the other one, I'll go okay.
But they're completely unrelated. I mean, they're only related that they're both about Google Drive. But the one in the browser is a completely different message than the thing that's happening with the desktop.
Okay. So the browser is there, and the Google Drive is open in File Explorer, but I don't seem to have my iCloud open. And I thought I downloaded it.
Well, this Fed Now stuff seems pretty nice. One of the things we deal with in the bed and breakfast is trying to get transfers of money. And so we've had to rely on PayPal to do, because we don't take credit cards any longer directly. If somebody wants to pay us, they pay us through a PayPal invoice. And so there are heavy fees associated with that. To give you an idea of what this Fed Now service should allow is for somebody to go from their bank to our bank without any hassle, like within minutes being able to show that deposit. And then the banks have the option of making this available to their customers at a very low price. Like, it would be very easy for them to beat the PayPal price because they don't have to associate a price with it. This is a part of their network, their federal network, banking network, that allows these kinds of transfers to take place between banks that have joined this service. And it's all centrally regulated, so it satisfies those concerns that the Federal Reserve has had with things like Bitcoin, because they're still in control. So this is not, and people are making the mistake at times of thinking of this as a U.S. federal version, a government version of PayPal, which it absolutely is not. We are never going to see an app that says Fed Now on it on our phone. And actually, one of the links that I linked to use a picture. It was very disingenuous. It shows a picture of somebody holding a phone, and it says Fed Now on their phone. And we will never see that from this network. There will never be an ad, or at least the way they're proposing this, there would never be an app that you would go to directly, because this is happening in the background. This is interlinking U.S. banks that are regulated by the Fed, so that they can do very quick transfers between accounts, and the federal government gets nothing out of it. So these banks that we use don't have to charge us anything for making these transfers. Now, what the hope is they will integrate into their application. So you, for example, would use a Bank of America app on your phone. And like we use our credit union app. It's called Global Credit Union now. For example, if I want to, I can transfer money from my account to my parents' account. We're both in credit union, and that's built right into the app. So I can just say, go to a member, transfer this money. And we're talking about that kind of ability across all the U.S. banks that participate in this program. So now it doesn't have to be credit union. It could, or our global credit union. It could be from my account to Bank of America, or from my account to Northwest Bank or Southwest Bank, or whatever that bank, Bank of New York. I'm making up banks now because Wells Fargo, right? Wells Fargo is actually already signed on. JP Morgan Chase has already signed on to this. These are large banking institutes. And so just by the nature of them being on, there's these huge groups of people that are going to have the ability to do instantaneous transfers from their accounts from opposing banks with the ability to have no fees. You're going to learn now whether your banks, how fair they are dealing with you, because this has all been put in place with no fee structure associated with it. All you have to do is have your Bank of America app developer add another portion saying, we can transfer to these banks, and you have a drop-down list. This is how I envision it. This is going to a Bank of America account. Here's the Bank of America account number. This is the amount I want to transfer. Press the button, and it should show up in that account. Now, the way business works in the United States, because banks are businesses, I'm sure this is going to be premium support, or for an extra 5% or whatever it might be, you'll be able to have this ability. And they'll undercut Western Union, they'll undercut PayPal or Venmo, because there is no overhead for them. So they can undercut it all the way down to a 0.1% markup and still make money off of it, while beating anything that would be the equivalent. Judy, you wanted to say something.
I wanted to say, what was this called? Because I couldn't hear you when you started it.
Yeah. This is the Federal Reserve. This is the Federal Reserve system for interconnecting U.S. banks. They're regulated banks. It's called Fed Now.
Fed Now. Okay, thanks.
Fed Now. And Fed Now is not a payment system like PayPal, but it's going to give people that kind of ability, because it'll interlink these banks so that I can send money to you at your bank instantaneously, possibly feeless.
Do you think that will go for credit unions as well, or just the big gigantic banks.
I think what's going to happen is that they are going to be invited to join. Apparently, there's 10,000. I read this in the article. There's 10,000 banks that are regulated by the Federal Reserve, and so all of them are invited to join this system. And what that bank will have is the ability to offer interchanges with other banks. I don't know how that affects credit unions. I assume they're part of that 10,000.
It says, like, there's a list of early adopter financial institutes.
Yes.
Then financial institutes serving as settlement agents and liquidity providers. And there's a bunch of credit unions in there. Millennium, Crystal.
I think it's a matter of opting into it.
Yeah.
And then supporting it for their customers. So the credit union both has to agree to be part of it, and then they have to develop the tools that their customers can use using that system. But actually, I think of it as probably a really good way. It offers people some of those things that Bitcoin was supposed to offer. This very low fee transfer between accounts. It does not. It obviously doesn't offer any kind of anonymous behavior, and it's centralized. And these are the two things that the government has always hated about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in that respect. But this will give us that push button experience of getting money to somebody regardless of their banking institute. So I included an article that talks about it. I also included the Federal Reserve's press release, which I think has a list of everybody that's already adopted to it. If you're already in a Wells Fargo or a Chase, you would be looking at taking advantage of this in the future because they're already on board. I'm sure the Bitcoin people hate this because those were key points of what Bitcoin could bring to the people. And the Federal Reserve has caught up with that whole concept while still maintaining the criteria that they're most concerned about, and that's anonymous funds transferring. I also imagine that there's going to be one of the things also that we deal with in the bed and breakfast is international transactions. Systems like this have existed for a while now in other countries. And there's an international system called SWIFT that we might have talked about in the past that the U.S. does not belong to because SWIFT is bank interdependent with banking companies, not particular governments. And we have regulations in the United States that all transactions must go through the Federal Reserve internationally because they're looking for terrorist activities. And so we have not been able to be part of the SWIFT network. And so transferring money internationally to the United States and back has become much more complicated in this day and age, where before it was much easier. So I imagine what we'll have is we'll have banks of this nature that have been vetted in countries so that SWIFT payments can arrive at an international bank that has a relationship with a U.S. bank that allows them to make that transfer. And then this FedNow would allow you to transfer it to another U.S. bank very quickly. Yes, Chester.
When I first read about this, I checked, and Schwab Bank apparently is not a member of this operation. But I did get notice from Schwab Bank that I can make free international wire transfers. No, free domestic wire transfers.
Well, did you get that recently? Because I thought I saw Schwab on the list.
Maybe it was last week.
Let me see here. Early adopters, financial institutes. Let me do a search real quick because I thought for sure I saw Schwab on the list. But I suspect all American banks are going to be on this list eventually. I think the reason they won't be on the list is because they need time to develop their internal apps for their
It's
customers.
amazing. It's amazing to me that PayPal does all of this for free.
Well,
And
it
it's
doesn't.
rapid.
PayPal does this and it costs quite a bit.
But for me, it's free. I do it with my grandkids all the time.
Oh,
Oh
my
yeah,
goodness.
no, you're right.
Oh, friends and family. Yeah, if you're doing a transfer to friends and family, it's fine. But like when I've tried to do that with some people, like in San Carlos, when I'm trying to, have them, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
well,
pay
if
whatever,
I
they don't want to do the friends and family because they feel that it's not safe or something, and it's big fees.
That's right. That's right.
And
Is
their
that
exchange rate for Canada is abysmal. It's terrible.
we deal with that at the bed and breakfast. The only thing that has justified the way that we're taking payments right now is that we're seasonal. And the price that PayPal charges us for the transaction is just a hair cheaper than any booking service that we might be working with. It's just a hair smaller than the commission on being sent a booking from Expedia or hotels.com. And so that's kind of how we rationalize it, is we don't use it throughout the year. And that's how we used to take credit cards, is we used to pay annually for the ability to take credit cards, but we would only take credit cards for 4 months out of the year. And so that annual cost is so much higher than the accumulated cost of the PayPal transaction cost that we decided to stop taking our own credit cards. Hey, this call's about to end. We've overtalked. We've overshot our mark. I'm opening up the next meet.
I just successfully moved 61 items on file
Yay!
from Google Drive to iDrive.
All right. Everybody's coming in. Hello again. I feel like I just saw you folks. Can everybody hear me? Can somebody say something? Nope, I can't hear you. Judy, you're muted. Mom? No, I see your... Okay, so I've got the same problem as before. I've gotten into this meeting and I don't have audio. So I need to leave the media and I need to leave the meeting and come right back. I'll be right back.
Sure.
All right. I can hear you guys now. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
That's interesting. I got a message on my screen saying that your microphone is turned off because of the meat size. And I looked down.
I got that earlier too.
Yeah, but I looked down and it's not off. It's on. I didn't.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys fine now. Something about the first time I get into meet, though, I can't hear your audio. I can't hear you guys talking. You guys can hear me, but I can't hear you. I don't know what that's all about. I blame me.
Okay.
Well, I think that's what Chester was just describing, domestic transfers for free. I think that's what banks are going to be offering, and they're going to be selling on. That's going to be one of those features that they're selling you on, is be a Bank of America customer and you can do domestic bank transfers for free instantaneously. That's not a thing with Bank of America. I just made that up, but I think that's what you're going to see, is you're going to see banks offering those as features because of this. And because of it, they're going to be able to beat prices from Western Union or PayPal. We pay a lot in fees to PayPal, but like I said, it's only justified because we would be paying more under other circumstances. I don't know about Schwab. I thought I saw it on the list, but I don't see it on the list. So maybe that was something else I was looking at.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
But this ability to make wire transfers free is because before that they were costing anywhere from, I don't know, $4 or $5 to $15, depending on the amount.
And that friends and family through PayPal that we were talking about just as we were getting cut off, it's absolutely true, Chester. I can send money from my PayPal to my friend's PayPal as friends and family, and they don't charge anything. PayPal to PayPal, and then that other person can take their PayPal and transfer it into their bank account, and that doesn't cost anything either. But what?
Unfortunately, I use it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it only go one way,
It
Chester?
only goes one way.
Yeah. As far as Chester's concerned, it just goes out.
When you're dealing with grandchildren, I know what I can hear you.
Hey, Chester, can I become one of your grandchildren?
You
What
want
do
me
I
to
have to
adopt
do?
you, huh?
How about friends and family over here? We'll be the friends.
So what I've noticed has happened in the last few years with the PayPal account we use for the bed and breakfast is it's been identified as a business account, even though it originally was not a specific business account. And you can no longer send us money as friend or family. That if you try and send money to the Walkabout's PayPal account, it is identified as a business transaction. So every one of the transactions that we make is we can send money transaction feeless, but we can't receive it feeless.
Also, they're making some big changes in terms of PayPal and that type of service in the 1099 requirements. In the past, PayPal only filed a 1099 transaction if it was for $20,000 or more per year. And that's now been changed to $600 per year.
That's right. And don't they actually, they
Okay.
collect on any transaction over 600 in case you're not filing so that you're ready? They're ready to give the government that money?
It's only for goods and services, not for anything else.
Yeah, it's for buying goods or services.
Like how you're looking.
But on those transactions over 600, if I understand correctly, PayPal is actually setting that aside, just like
I
you
can
were,
give that a try, I suppose.
That's what I know.
just like they're collecting to pay the taxes, in case
I
you
don't
don't.
No, I don't think they can do
A
that.
very long time.
Oh, really? I thought I got a notice of that.
I would be surprised. That's kind of like a casino that when you have a certain winnings over X thousands of dollars, they take mandatory withholding. But
Yeah,
I've never heard that true with PayPal.
Yeah, I think it's new. I think it came with the 600, and I'm going to make a note so that I can look it up and see if it's true what I'm thinking and bring it with me next week. PayPal tax withholding over $600, because I was warned about it. You know what it is, Chester? I'm remembering now. That PayPal needs accurate tax identification number or they will withhold.
Okay, that makes sense. But
I'm remembering it correctly.
The rule before this year was not only $20,000, but more than 200 transactions. So they were only picking up the big guys. Now that's changed. And that gets expensive for PayPal.
Yeah, well, and especially if they're going to end up competing against these free domestic transfers. I can just imagine a whole side, they call it fintech, right? Financial technology businesses popping up all around this idea of easily transferring money back and forth between banks. I bet there's going to be a lot of competition for PayPal as we move forward. Well, I also included unless anybody else has any other topics, 3 different news articles I thought were interesting that you guys I thought would find interesting. One of them we've just discussed. It was the new instant payment service that's gone live. That system, FedNow, is only 5 days old, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with it. Obviously, it's not an AI, so it's not gonna it's not gonna blow up over the next 3 weeks and become the biggest thing. But it will be interesting to see how it affects our financial technology as we move into the future. But another article that I thought was interesting is that Australia is throwing about $400,000 at chips that are based on human and mouse brain cells. And so this is a marrying of biological technology. They're called dish brains. And the idea is that they've built a neural network, have grown it on top of transistors, so that these devices are going to start doing machine learning, kind of like what we've expected from AIs, except it's no longer purely silicon. It's using organic material. They describe... Oh, go ahead, Chester.
Very confusing. It sounded like they were going to take a piece of your brain and put it in there.
Well, not specifically your brain, but brain cells. So they get a hold of brain cells and they grow them on top of this transistor interface. Say
That's
again?
weird.
It is weird. And it's weird to think that you might have a phone in the future that has brain cells in it to help them make decisions as part of their neural network. But they talk about being able...
Spelling would be nice.
Say again?
Helping with the spelling would be nice.
Yeah.
You know, so you're writing along and you're starting to write the wrong word and you talk to the pencil and it corrects for you. I'm sorry.
You just have to talk to it now. Let it do the spelling. Have you ever been such a bad speller?
Too.
I'm such a bad speller that I can't even get the suggested spelling correctly. And nowadays, many times I just pull out the voice keyboard and say the word so that I can get the right spelling. Because I can say it correctly most times, but I can't spell it.
I got to tell you, though, when you get to be my age, it's not only a question of spelling, it's a question of finding the word.
Right? So you want to go to Google and just say something smart about this thing for me, please. Write out that sentence. We're looking at a picture from an electron microscope showing a disc brain. These are the neurons growing on the electrodes. So this is organic material inside a silicon device that would be connected to receive electrical impulses. And they talk about how this article specifically, they taught these chips how to play Pong. You remember the old video game Pong with the 2 paddles and the bouncing ball back and forth? They were able to discipline's my word, but it sounded like discipline, these chips into understanding what a correct move and what a wrong move was by creating neural feedback that was either consistent. Apparently, this is something I learned from the article. Building the neurosynapses that make decisions in your brain is based on consistent feedback or random feedback. So the idea of like a carrot and a stick is like a carrot would be a consistent feedback. Apparently our brains like that, brain cells like that. You do something and it results in the same pattern, then that's considered a good answer. Whereas if you do something and it's a random pattern of feedback, that's considered a bad answer. That means you've done it wrong. And so apparently our brains look for this consistency, or brain cells look for this consistency. And because they've been able to identify that, they've been able to train these transistors by giving them electronic stimuli and then watching what they do with it. And depending on what they do with it is determined whether it's a carrot or stick situation. And so they feed it consistent behavior or inconsistent behavior. Kind of, to me, I look at it kind of like they can't talk. So is it 2 blinks for one or 1 blink for yes? I believe that's the kind of philosophy that's going on behind all this, but it's just abstracted up to a much more complex layer where these are going to be the black box of machine learning algorithms. Anyway, there's some interesting pictures showing neurons that have been growing, and it's interesting to see Australia's dumping into this. This is kind of a sensationalized headline because it's military funding, but apparently it's a Australian government research and developing, and so it is associated with military, but probably the same way NASA is, probably the same way DARPA is in the United States. They've got a grant to study this farther. They had some good quotes in here I thought were interesting. The dish brain's advanced learning capabilities, in other words, could underpin a new generation of machine learning, particularly when embodied in autonomous vehicles, drones, and robots. So more Skynet. Expect Terminator in the future. Anyway, that was one of the topics I thought was interesting.
I have something I wanted to mention.
Oh, yes, Chester, go ahead.
I saw a video tube last night which really caught my attention. It was by David Attenborough. You remember, he's an Englishman that is now 93 years old. And
wow, he's still alive.
He had about a 25-minute presentation that he had put together on the history and future of the world and the bio part of that. In other words, the animal world and how it relates to the past and future is very interesting. If you get a chance, you could probably put a search in for David Attenborough and watch that. You might enjoy it. He talks about how the Earth is being destroyed and what can be done to save it.
So it's a climate change?
No, it's not so much climate as it is the biological world, the animal world.
We watched it as instead of reading a book, we watched the video and discussed it at our book club when we were doing virtual ones. Is it called
Our Planet? Is that it?
Could be. It's very modern because he's 93 years old.
It's a documentary, and I think it was about 2 years ago, or maybe 2020 or something.
I think it was 2020. And,
okay. I'm looking at 2023. There's one called Our Planet that's on Apple TV. Let's look at 2020 documentaries.
Well, this was YouTube.
A Life on Our Planet?
That sounds.
But it might be showing in 2023, but does it say when it was produced?
Well,
I think Cheryl is right. I believe it was produced in 2020.
Well, there is A Life on Our Planet on Netflix from 2020.
And is that with Attenborough?
Yeah. It's titled David Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet.
Is it about 25 minutes long?
But it's not on YouTube other than a trailer for it. Well, let's just search YouTube.
Anyway, I found it beautiful and informative.
Yeah, what we need it to be is instructions.
No,
we need everybody to adopt. They got to be good instructions, and everybody's got to adopt to them.
he sorts out major recommendations to save the earth because according to him, by 2021, by 2100, it'll be gone. And that's less than a lifetime.
Yeah, and when you say gone, you mean the planet will be here, but
Yeah,
none
that's
of us
all.
will be here.
Yeah, it'll be the sixth earthly destruction. The last one was 500 years ago, which killed, I'm sorry, more than 500. The fifth one killed the dinosaurs.
So what year is this, Charlie? I need to write it into my calendar. When is it going to be done?
Oh.
Well, he makes predictions for every 20 years going forward, showing from the past to the future over 2 lifetimes what happens to the earth.
Well, I've just found a whole slew of episodes.
Yeah, he's done many episodes through the years, but this was kind of a life summary.
Yeah, but I'm not finding specific. If you find it, Chester, share the link with us, because I'm not finding specifically the one you're talking about.
I wish I'd written it down, but I didn't.
Was it on Netflix or where was it?
No, I picked it up on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
The YouTube channel, TV channel.
Oh,
And it was about 25 minutes long.
I'm still looking for it. Now, yeah, if you come across the link, I mean, there's obviously a lot of David Attenborough stuff here. Good stuff, interesting stuff, but it would be interesting to know the one specifically that you're talking about, Chester.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't write it down. But you know, that's the problem with memory.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why I try and write everything down. That's why I have a calendar and a contact list. Well, what else do I... Oh, ChatGPT. This is really interesting. They've done a study. If you looked at my document earlier, I've changed the link for this article because it originally came from Fortune. Wait a second. I thought I switched it. This is supposed to be a YouTube article. Oh, well, yeah. Where'd the YouTube article go? God damn it. Let me fix that.
Oh, fuck.
Not... Cheryl, you're swearing on YouTube.
I'm sorry.
Unlike my son.
I'm still trying to move things off my Google Drive. I thought the Google Drive on my computer was the one that the storage is full, but now it looks like it's the one that's on the browser. I thought it was the same thing.
It is the same thing.
No, it doesn't even look anything like it, and it doesn't look like anything that I moved went out of the storage. And the Google Drive I'm looking at on my computer says it's empty.
You've gone into
Google
My Drive?
I'm in File Explorer, Google Drive, on my computer. This folder is empty. That's because I moved it all into my iDrive.
Oh, well...
So then I go online and I look in my Google Drive.
Oh, you know what, Cheryl? It's not going to happen instantaneously. Like it's going to have to churn through all those files.
Well, it did. Well, those 61, but the ones online under Google Drive are not the ones on the computer. So then I go down to the word computer and it says there are no, changes will automatically sync. Delete files. Oh,
Yeah, I
it's a
think
little wee fine print.
yeah, you may be waiting a while to see changes.
No computer syncing.
Why am
Show
I
up
having
here.
this trouble?
What
All I
am
want
I
to
up?
do is change this link.
Okay, I'll mute my swearing.
There we go. That should do it. Okay, the new link should be in the document for the Yahoo article. This is an interesting bit of internet stuff is that I got the article originally from Fortune magazine, and then later in the week lost access to it because it's Fortune magazine and they want me to buy a subscription. I didn't want you guys to have that experience, so this morning I went out looking for the same content through a different distributor and found the exact same article being offered through Yahoo, pointing at Fortune. So if you want to read the contents, use this Yahoo link that I just stuck in our document. But what it's basically talking about is how ChatGPT, with more training and more information, has become less reliable. And I think they even make a point in this article of saying that this study, the biggest thing that this study is really pointing to is how you can unbalance a well-balanced model. You can focus in one area that this AI machine learning model has been not quite as accurate. You can focus your resources in trying to make that part more accurate, and you can do other areas where the model is very accurate. And so they use the example of math problems and how and it's actually in the latest versions of ChatGPT. They found that the accuracy for finding prime numbers, they use the example of a large prime number and asking the AI, is this a prime number? And with version 4, the latest ChatGPT, they watched as the accuracy went from something like 97% accurate to 2.4% over a month as it became less and less correct.
I
Whereas
read that yesterday. And apparently they accomplished that by giving the same formula over and over again.
and watching as it gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
Whereas the older model, the 3.5 version of ChatGPT, did the exact opposite. It started at a really low number, but over time became more accurate. It's interesting to read these kinds of stories about these large language models and then think about how quickly companies like Google and Microsoft have integrated them directly into their products. So like whether you read about this and you're like, you have to be suspect of all these offerings that are being put out there right now, because they're not being put out because they're the greatest tools. They're being put out because it's a gold rush in those tools right now. And every business, every tech business is concerned about doing it too late. They need to be there on the forefront.
Did you see in the where they met with the president and they presented a set of rails that they were going to adopt between them that made a lot of sense? I don't know if you read that.
No. What is it you're talking about as far as regulations for AI?
Well, it was self-regulated. Apparently, it was proposed that they would self-regulate with these particular rules developing AI. I thought maybe you saw that.
No, I haven't seen that. In fact, I'm trying to do a Google search on it right now. Businesses look to self-regulate the use of AI in hiring. Who is going to, what type of regulations are there?
They had about 5 or 6 points that they were trying to control.
Do you happen to remember a group name, a body that was presenting them?
Well, they were meeting with the president.
Oh, Biden gets voluntary AI safety comments from OpenAI, Meta, Google, and Microsoft. This must be it.
Sounds like it. Yeah, I think those are the 5 things.
Yeah? Oh, no, that's not it. I don't see a listicle in here. This is a Vox article talking about self-regulation. Well, this might be an interesting story for the future. I'm going to add this to our document, and it might end up being topic for another meeting. I'll put it on our documents here. We have run past our meet time. I'm sorry, Chester, go ahead.
It's particularly important since that's what Congress is working on now, is trying to figure out what parameters to set up to make a safeguard out of AI.
Yeah, I was earlier probably pointing out the frustration of these things being integrated directly into products immediately. Google or Microsoft has tried to distance the AI from the information, putting kind of a man in the middle. That is, I don't know if you've used the Chat GPT that's available, but they've it's almost like you're telling Chat GPT what you're interested in, and Chat GPT is the one that's doing all your searching for you using Bing. And then Chat GPT is analyzing the results and then spitting the results to you as it sees them. It's a form of policing their results, but it's definitely something that is needed. This is July 21st.
Scott, I have a Chat GPT question for you.
Yeah.
Is there a limit on what you can use it? Many times you can use it.
There is if you've got a Chat GPT account directly. They give you 30 days of free use.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, you have to pay for it. But it's not hard to get access to Chat GPT through all these other offerings.
Yeah. Well, I downloaded the original, and it was using it, and then all of a sudden it said something went wrong. If this issue persists, contact us. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, if you've exceeded the 30 days, then that might be the only problem.
Yeah, I'll bet it is. Okay, so I have to just go find one of those workarounds if I want to use it.
Well, like for example, if you open up Microsoft Edge, they have a Bing Chat GPT client built right into it that you can just start using. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is when you use that, it's not the naked Chat GPT. Microsoft is wrapping that up so that it can grab things like inappropriate responses and inappropriate questions. And so It's
The-
running
does-
that through its moderating filters.
Okay. Is it using a up-to-date database then? Like the one I was using, like it was 2 years old or something, and it would tell you that.
Right, right. And so what the latest version of Chat GPT lets you do, this version 4, even though the database model is dated, you're able with the new version to point it at new data. And so Microsoft has developers that are using Chat GPT 4, and they're pointing it at data sources to make decisions with. So
Okay.
for example, you could you could ask Chat GPT how to connect your Bluetooth phone to your car, and your car's in 2023, and Chat GPT would be like, well, all our data is only up to date to 2021, so we don't know how your radio works. But then you could, instead of asking it directly, you could say, use this information from Honda for 2023. How do I hook up my phone? And it would come back with that latest information, because it would have analyzed those, because you pointed it at those things to analyze.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking, this would have worked probably for getting Stremio to work on the Fire TV.
In 2021, it would have worked.
Yes,
but then if you're trying to use a newer version of Stremio or something that's changed recently with Fire TV, then you would want to ask Chat GPT to go out and get the new information and then tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
all that comes down to prompting. That's what this job type is called, is
Yes.
prompters. And I think I've said before, I think that there is a short-term position for tech workers in prompting field, where they're just hired by their businesses to be good AI prompters. They learn how to ask the AI to get successful results. Hey, I was just about to say we have run over our regular hour, which we typically do. Before I sign off, does anybody have any recommendations they would like to make? And if you're looking at our document, you'll see I put the new Indiana Jones movie on there. Enough said. I don't have to add anything. It's just the new Indiana Jones. Gotta see it. It's awesome. Cheryl, you're muted.
You haven't done the Barbieheimer?
We haven't watched it yet. That's next on our list.
The two of them, Barbie and
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Isn't that
the
crazy
Barbie.
that how that double feature got so popular?
Well,
And it's an actual double feature option in the theaters now. You
Yeah.
can go watch it one after the other.
It actually makes a lot of sense, because I bet you have this Venn diagram of people that would never go see one versus the other, but they're going to one with people that would go see the other.
Yes.
So it's drawing people into these movies that would never have gone to see each other.
There's not any way I'm going to see Barbie.
Chester, I happen to live with a man that said, "Oh, that's one I'm not going to." And I just looked at him and I said, "You have two granddaughters that all they'd have to do is look at your face and say, 'Papa, we want to go,' and you'd be there right now." So you
Yeah, that's true.
tough guys.
In my pink tutu.
That's right.
Well, now I don't know if he'd dress up, and then I read a review about it, and the person that wrote the review said, I thought this was going to be a fluffy, stupid thing, but it's a very in-depth kind of look at female images and through time, and she said it was a very deep movie. So,
Yeah, no, that's the reviews that I've heard too, is that you will be completely caught off guard by what this movie's about.
Yeah.
And I kind of got a sense for that. I watched an interview with Margot Robbie, and she just said something very poignant that I hadn't even considered. Barbie was an astronaut in a day and age where women weren't allowed to have their own credit cards. And so that was just incredibly forward thinking. When I think of Barbie, I typically think of poor female imagery, expectations on young girls. But I forget to think about things like that, where like she was being shot into space in a rocket before you could get your own credit card without a husband's approval.
So I put the book Demon Copperhead in there as a
Demon Copperhead. Never heard of it.
Come in.
Oh, okay.
we'll be right over it, Sandy.
Oh, sorry. Somebody's at our door.
Anyways, Demon Copperhead. Yeah, it's a long book. It's a big book. Kingfisher, I think is her name. Kingsolver, something like that.
Kingsolver. Barbara Kingsolver. That's an interesting last name.
Yeah, she's got some other ones that people read all the time, but that one is kind of the world of meth addicts, the world of foster kids and the system. It's a very well written, keeps you going all the way through.
I'm bringing it up on Goodreads right now, or I thought I was. What happened to it? I just had it. I actually have kept the Goodreads list up to date.
Yeah, I got a thing the other day from it. Yeah.
The Southern Appalachians.
Yes. So it talks a lot about hillbillies and, well, it's got a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah, this is a story of a born to a teenage single mom in a single wide trailer with no assets beyond his dead father's good looks and copper-colored hair. Interesting. Here's time for survival.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I've just added it to, I think still brings up, if we go to books.scclub.org, it goes to the Goodreads list of recommended books. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, because I think you added the one that I said before. Alone? What was it called?
I did, yeah.
Oh, that was a good book.
Yeah, I thought you'd like it. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, this Demon Copperhead, it took me a long time to read it.
What's the explanation for the name of the book? Demon Copperhead?
Well, his name is Damon, and because of his colored hair, but there also is the Copperhead snake. And
okay.
yeah, it's a complicated thing, but yeah, it's got to do with a little bit of personality and some of the survival that he gets into.
How come that didn't end up? Well, I'll figure out why that's not on the right list. For some reason, it's in want to read.
Oh. Well, yeah, I think you have to change that. As soon as you put it in, it does that, and then, or one of the members has read it or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have to get it on the list, I have to put it as read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that should do it.
And the other one I see is on that one too.
Yeah, The Great Alone.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, that's up to date. Cool. Well, it looks like we've lost everyone but Mom and Cheryl and myself. So I think we're at the end of this meeting.
I need to tell you there's a box here for you. I just signed for it.
Oh, good. You know what those are? Lunch bags.
Oh, okay.
Is that going out on YouTube?
It is. It is.
I'm waiting for my bathing suit to be delivered. Okay.
Well, if you have nothing else to I'm sorry, Cheryl?
Have a good week. We'll talk to you next.
You guys too. Tech on until next Tuesday. We'll meet again.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Well, there we are. We did it again. That was a computer club meeting for July 25th. Sorry about the beginning. There's no audio in the beginning. I don't know. Maybe I'll. Oh, and is there any audio right now? There is. I've just got too many audio things looking at. Anyway, it's all working. Until next Tuesday at 10 o'clock, everybody take it easy and tech on.